Championships are only the beginning. Dynasty Road.
Welcome back to Dynasty Road. This video, we're going to be looking at a few of the top quarterbacks that's going to be coming out on this year's draft, the 2022 NFL draft. And one of the reasons why we're doing this was because there's going to be a lot of talk about whether or not who's going to draft who, where they're going to end up, where the free agents are going to go. But one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video was because I did see a mock draft that really sums up this class of quarterbacks. Obviously, this is not the same class as what's been past years. The hype around this year's class is not that great. There's no instant stars, guys that, the number one pick overall. Actually, in the mock draft that I saw, the first one was actually the 12th pick. That was Kenny Pickett going to the Steelers, which would be a really nice place for him and his skill set. The Steelers, they have a good running game, they have a good tight end, they have established wide receivers, they have a decent offensive line, they have a defense, offensive line, a good defense that for a young rookie you're not going to ask to do a lot, that is one of the perfect landing spots for him. Kenny Pickett is a little bit more of a worry too, because his first few seasons, he wasn't that explosive. Now, did he learn how to do that? Did he get better? Did he progress? Did he finally click? Or is it just the fact that he's a senior and he's going up against freshmen and juniors and sophomores that are young and he just can pick them apart because of experience? That might be one of the things where Kenny Pickett is a little bit more of a question mark as well. The rest of them is the same kind of thing. They had Matt Corral going 13th to Washington. Again, another good running backs, a good catching running back out of the backfield. Decent wide receivers, decent tight ends, a good offensive line, a really good defense, especially when Young comes back from his injury. Probably next year, for a rookie to go there will not be that hard of a situation. He's not needed to do that much. Tyler Henke, he's a good quarterback, but he's obviously not the solution there in Washington. Malik Willis to the Broncos. That was the next quarterback coming off, next team picking a quarterback. Malik Willis probably has the highest ceiling of these guys coming out right now, but he is very raw. He's mostly run, needs to develop that pocket presence, good tight ends, good running backs, decent defense. He's probably not as polished as Teddy Bridgewater is right now, and look at what Teddy Bridgewater was able to do with the offense, the Broncos offense. Drew Luck, I think it unfortunately just didn't work out, but even with Malik Willis being that raw, I think would still be a good fit for him to go to the Broncos. Desmond Riddler going to the Saints, a great organization. You have running backs, you have wide receivers, which, Michael Thomas, we don't know what's going to happen with him. You have a good defense. Look what they did to Tampa Bay a couple weeks ago. Look what they just did to Carolina. A good offensive line. Desmond Riddler is going to definitely be an upgrade. He might not blow the doors out of the building, but he's going to help solidify the offense. And Sam Howell, again, to the Lions. And this would be the Lions' second pick in the first round. And that, to go to the Lions for any rookie quarterback right now, that's going to be asking them a lot. But I think if they kind of go against the grain a little bit and pick an offensive lineman to help solidify that offensive line, and then they take Sam Howell here as the fifth quarterback going in the first round, I think you can see some upside there. I think helping out Goff he's been atrocious. I think you'll see Sam Howell, improving over Goff. He has more upside than Goff. Having that first pick, again, you have a decent running back who catches out of the backfield. You have a decent tight end. You have a decent wide receiver with Amon St. Brown. Their offensive line, if they can solidify that in the beginning of this draft and take a couple of guys, I think that would help them out. Their defense, yes, is still a little suspect. That they can try to get that going either in free agency or in the rest of the draft. But I think even taking Sam Howell here as the second, not the first quarterback, But as your second pick and your fifth quarterback coming off, I mean, I think that's a pretty decent pickup for him. A couple of these guys have been looked at as a Joe Burrow, which, I mean, if he does what Joe Burrow did yesterday with Jamar Chase, 400 yards beating the Chiefs, then hey, you know, you'll take that any day. It's the upside is not as well there as with guys who, you know, Trey Lance and Fields and even Lawrence, Wilson. You know, the upside for those guys last season is a lot higher than the upside for these guys, other than maybe Malik Willis. Malik Willis is probably the one that has the most upside, but will he be a runner first and then a passer? Is he going to end up being a Kyle Murray, or is he going to end up being Jalen Hurts? Meaning that, you know, Jalen Hurts in his second year, he's definitely more of a run first quarterback, and they're running the ball, and that's what they're doing. And, you know, throwing the ball, he's not as polished at it yet. Kyle Murray, he makes amazing plays. That's why. Is Malik Willis going to be turning into a Kyle Murray type player where he can run and pass, or is it going to be more the Jalen Hurts? But with Matt Corral, he just got injured. Doesn't seem like that big of a deal. It came back negative, so that shouldn't be that bad. But he's been pretty steady. If you look back at his college career, it's progressively gone up or been even consistent. Desmond Ridder, Sam Howell, again, you know, guys that aren't going to, they're going to be consistent. They're not going to, you know, maybe there'd be that flash in the pan, you know, kind of thing, that nice signing, but they could be consistent players, again, if you look back and how they developed and how they progressed when they were in college, and now they're getting ready for the pros. Not flashy, but they could be consistent. And that's what you're kind of looking for right now as a rookie. You know, you think of Mac Jones, and he's in a very good situation. Some of these guys will be a very similar situation, other than Howell maybe with the Lions. All those other guys, you know, they're going to good organizations. They're going into organizations that progressively won, had good defenses, have good coaches, good ownership. Whereas like Mac Jones, you know, he wasn't asked to do a lot, and he's been succeeding. Now he's had hiccups this season. He's looked like a rookie at times. But then you compare that with even Wilson and Lawrence, where it's just been a complete struggle. Wilson's been a little bit better, but he's also been banged up this season. But Lawrence just looks almost lost. Fields, he's been having a tough time of it. And it could be just get rid of the coach, but it might not be. It might be just that he is a runner and he hasn't been stable and he's been kind of injured. Lance, he had his second start yesterday, a little shaky in the beginning, but settled down, beating those teams that you're supposed to beat, like in the Houston Texans, where Lawrence can't do that. Lance has a better team around him. So it was just a quick little video. It just shows you that, you know, situations sometimes matter, sometimes they don't. But I think with these five guys, those situations would definitely help them. So that's just my thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, give a like and subscribe and leave a comment if you'd love to hear from you. All right, have yourself a good day.